Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, July 17, 2023. Episode 24 of DMS 3000 News Live is upon us. And I hope you had a fantastic weekend, because I am your host and moderator for today on this Monday morning. I hope you have your coffee and your muffins ready. I am Jason DeCanio, podcaster and co-owner of the David 3000 Network, here for you on this episode 24 of DMS 3000 News Live today for July 24th or July 17th, 2023. All right. Today on the program, we've got a great lineup of topics to talk about, including Disneyland opening its doors to 30,000 guests. Yes, today is the birth date of the first day that Disneyland in California opened its doors back in 1955 to a record 30,000 guests that got to experience Disneyland in California, the Magic Kingdom, for the very first time ever. So we're going to look at that spectacular event and give you all of the details and explain really what happened that day today, but many, many years ago, celebrating almost 70 years, I think, in the process. 55 was the date that they came out. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll look at that. And then, of course, the health benefits of garlic. For all you garlic lovers out there, and I'm one of them, if you like to pop cloves in your mouth and enjoy that bitter, that rustic taste of garlic in your mouth and get your blood pressure down, we're going to talk about the health benefits of why you should consume more garlic in your diet and give you the health benefits, because there's a lot that goes with it, not just enjoying it in your favorite foods and everything, but if you take it internally, you will reap the benefits. All right. And for all you Y&R fans, yes, Young and the Restless, this year marks 50 years for the soap opera that's been on since 1973. March 26th was the first program ever for the Young and the Restless, and they are just continually doing fantastic well in their ratings. Their time slot has been 12:30 to 1:30 almost for 25, 30 years. And it looks like they're not leaving anytime soon. A lot of soap operas have canceled, but not Y&R. They stood the test of time, and we'll look at them later on in the program. Plus, we have news of the weird, the headlines, sports, and what day is today. Oh, yeah, that's going to be fine. And toward the end of the program, we have an editorial. In the last 15 minutes, I'll talk about a specific topic, give my opinion on it. If you like it, great. If you don't, no problem. It's just an opinion. Like I said, don't kill the podcaster, don't kill the host, because we just pretty much give you all of the information as far as we're concerned. All right, so let's look at the headlines and sports and what day is today, starting, of course, with the headlines for today, July 17th, 2023. Russia leaves the deal that allowed Ukrainian ports to export food, and Alabama will redraw its congressional voting map after a Supreme Court ruling. And President Biden also leads the field in the 2024 fundraising. Well, got a tipping rage. This barista reveals what it's like to be behind the tip screen. Yes, the rise in tipping has many customers fuming, but one worker who depends on tips says most customers misunderstand what they are, and shares what it feels like when people don't tip. And we all know what that feels like. Traffic on a key bridge connecting Crimea to Russia's mainland was disrupted Monday after one of its sections was blown up in what Russia officials said was a Ukrainian attack that killed 2. Nora Roberts, Viet Thanh Nguyen, Michael Chabon, and Margaret Atwood are among those signing an Authors Guild letter asking artificial intelligence companies to get permission or offer compensation. Jesse Waters, who has worked, smirked, and opinioned for Fox his entire professional career, takes the reins on Monday on Fox News 8 p.m. weekday show, permanently replacing fired star Tucker Carlson. To celebrate Disability Pride Month, music, not impossible, brought vibrating haptic suits to a Lincoln Center dance party. And the latest accident occurred after 32 miles on Sunday when a spectator on the side of the road inadvertently touched American rider Sepp Kuss and sent him to the ground during the Tour de France. Not cool by the spectator. More than 40 million people across the Northeast were at moderate risk of excessive rainfall on Sunday, according to the National Weather Service. 5 people killed in Pennsylvania as storms swept the Northeast. It's the first championship at Wimbledon's second Grand Slam trophy overall for Carlos Alcaraz. The number 1 ranked Alcaraz prevented Djokovic from what would have been a record-tying 8th title as he beats them to win his second major trophy at Wimbledon. Carly Russell, she's 25, from Hoover, Alabama. She went missing on Thursday night after telling 911 she was going to help a toddler stranded on the side of the interstate. She then returned home, police said, and she appeared at home after vanishing while reporting a lost child. The morality police had largely pulled back following the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini last September, as authorities struggled to contain mass protests calling for the overthrow of the theocracy. And Lionel Messi has finalized his deal to join Major League Soccer. Inter Miami has landed a global icon. Days of heavy rain triggered a flash floods and landslides and destroyed homes across the country. Dozens have died and thousands have been evacuated as South Korea's death toll from rainstorms grow as workers search for survivors. And Below the Belt highlights patient stories and the push for new research dollars for this poorly understood disease. Here are 7 surprising facts from the film. Endometriosis, a painful and often overlooked disease, gets attention in a new film. And 15 cities in Italy, most of them in the country's center and south, were under heat advisories. Czech temperatures soared to a new record high. European countries farther north also sweltered as people and pets seek shade and cool as Europe sizzles under a heat wave. Law enforcement said Andre Longmore was shot after an intense manhunt. A sheriff's deputy and a police officer were injured trying to take the suspect into custody, authorities said, as police shot and killed a man wanted in 4 killings in Georgia. And finally, parts of the Midwest are seeking unhealthy air quality this weekend, including Minnesota, Wisconsin, Montana, and the Dakotas. It can be most dangerous for kids, older people, and other sensitive groups, as Minnesota and Wisconsin issue air quality alerts amid a new round of Canada smoke. And there you have it, folks. The headlines for today, July 17th, 2023. And that was also a look at the weekend headlines as well, too. We incorporated so much in there, and we hope that you had been informed on it. All right, let's now go over to baseball as the Major League has resumed its second half of news and stuff. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to actually go to MLB.com because that actually gives me all of the all the actual news that I need here. But I don't want injuries. Okay, what do we got here? All right, here we go. All right, we got each team strategy for the trade deadline. To buy or not to buy? That is the trade deadline question. However, it's not a binary choice for everyone. A team's record, payroll, and place in the playoff picture are just a few of the factors considered before one decides to go all in as buyers looking toward the future. The path can be different for each club. With that said, here is every team's strategy leading up to the August 1st deadline. We'll look at a few at a time, and I hope, Brandon Martin, you will pick up where I left off on this on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, okay? That would be cool. And the AL East, here's what the Blue Jays have to do. They have to buy selectively. Yes, the Blue Jays should be aggressive. as rosters with this much talent don't stick around forever, but where is the area they need to upgrade over an everyday player? The rotation will be a major priority as Toronto lacks depth and another strong right-handed bat is on the list, but these moves could be more complementary than blockbuster. Keep in mind that the Blue Jays are always looking a year or two down the road, as most of the pitchers they've acquired at recent deadlines had multiple years of control remaining. And the Orioles, well, is this for real this time? They got to buy. Last year, Baltimore was 52-51 at the trade deadline, and in the thick of the American League wildcard race. Some expected the O's to be buyers for the first time since Mike Ellis became general manager prior to the 2019 season. Yet they again acted as sellers, dealing all-star closer Jorge Lopez to the Twins and fan favorite slugger Trey Mancini to the Astros. The 23 deadline should be different, as Baltimore is 57-35, giving it the second best record in the AL and the third best mark in MLB. In order to bolster their postseason push, the Orioles should trade for pitching, and there's a good chance they could do so, given their wealth of position player depth. But Elias isn't going to overpay, so it will depend on how the trade market develops. And the Rays, buy pitching and more pitching. Yes, the Rays have the American League's best record, 60-36, and one of the best ERAs in the majors at 3.70. How much pitching could they possibly need? Plenty, as the first half showed. They can feel great about the top three arms in the rotation as Shane McClanahan, Zach Eflin, and Tyler Glasnow, as long as they stay healthy. And they believe rookie starter Taj Bradley will continue to get better. But they could use another mid-rotation arm after officially losing Jeffrey Springs and Drew Rasmussen for the season. They pursued help in the bullpen during the first half, adding experienced relievers in Jake Dykman, Robert Stevenson, and Zach Littell. Right-hander and 2021 All-Star Andrew Kitteridge will soon return. A huge boost, but they could use another high-leverage arm to bolster the group in front of Pete Fairbanks. And the Red Sox, the balancing act. Well, the Red Sox are tied for last place in the loaded American League East, but they are just 3 games out of third and very much in the AL wild card race. The club's play for the rest of July will have a lot to do with how Chief Baseball Officer Chaim Bloom approaches the trade deadline. Whether they are in buy or sell mode, don't be surprised if the Sox offload a position player to alleviate the logjam so that outfielder Jarren Duran can play every day. The one sure thing, if the Sox stay in the race, is that Bloom will try to add starting pitching to a rotation that has been decimated by injuries. And to round out the AL East is the Yankees. They're kicking tires. Yes, General Manager Brian Cashman says he's open to anything that would make the Yankees better. This year, they're likely to improve upon the margins as they aim to trim ground on a postseason spot. Cashman doesn't have much payroll flexibility, as the Yanks are wary of further exceeding the luxury tax threshold. There's also no temptation to execute a 2016-style sell-off, not with the key pieces such as Carlos Rodon, Nestor Cortez, and hopefully Aaron Judge filtering back into the clubhouse. Early reports have the Yanks looking at pitching, but they really should address left field. The Yanks' attempt to run it back with Aaron Hicks and Oswaldo Cabrera flopped hard. Tomorrow we'll look at the AL Central and see what they're doing in that division. And hopefully Brandon Martin will pick up on Wednesday with the AL West. Now we go to the sports scores, which is really what you want to see. And there was a lot of action, of course, as you know, on Sunday night. The Giants, well, they keep winning, and they beat the Pirates. Final in 10, 8-4. Phillies, well, they're really showing what true commentators they are in their division. They beat the Padres 7-6. And the Braves got swapped 8-1 as the lowly White Sox at 40-55 stopped the Braves putting them 30 games over, with the Braves over 30 games over 500 and in first place, but 8-1 loss for the Braves. Tough one, as the Braves lost only their 31st game in what? In fashion here. And here we are in July, and they've only lost 31 games, right? The Orioles continue to win, beat the Marlins on a very good contest, 5-4. It was the Blue Jays over the D-backs, 7-5. The Blue Jays are still showing a contending ship in the AL East. It was the Brewers over the Reds, 4-3, as the Brewers and the Reds are fighting for that division in the NL Central right now. That is going to be a tough one, as the Brewers now have a 2-game lead on the Reds for the top spot. It was the Royals, the lowly Royals, upsetting the Rays 8-4, putting the Rays on a halt. Still, the Rays hold the best record in baseball at 60-36. Well, not really, because you look at the Braves and they're 61-31. So really, between the Braves and the Rays, it's a contest that's going to come down to the final week of baseball. But the Royals upset them. And at 27-67, the Royals are just fighting for a last place spot in the draft. They're trying to get that best record for the number 1 draft pick for next year. Cardinals, well, they continue to struggle, but they beat the Nationals, and they do it in fashion, 8-4. Nationals can't even win 40 games yet. They're stuck at 37-56, and the Cardinals go to 40-53. Red Sox blanketed the Cubs, go to and get their 50th win. They beat them 11-5. Still on the bottom of the AL East, because like I said before, and we all can agree with this, and I've said it to all my colleagues, you could win 50 games and still be on the bottom of your division, because if your division has great teams, there ain't no way you're going to fight it. You would have to win every game from here on out in order to even get there. So with that said, 50-44, the Boston Red Sox looking like they have this in control. They're 6 games over 500, but they're on the bottom and have a long way to go, 9 games back. Texas Rangers showing who they are, 55-39 against the Guardians. They beat them 6-5, putting the Rangers in that AL West. Boy, I'll tell you, they're fighting like tooth and nail with the Houston Astros. They get the win. The Texas Rangers continue to win and put the pressure on the Astros. Rockies, they upset the Yankees. Colorado on the bottom of their NL West division, 8-7, 36-58. Beat the Yankees, who are at 50-44. Just goes to show you that even it doesn't matter how good of a team you are, you must beat those teams that are below 500. Surely. The Minnesota Twins, well, they just put more of a hurt on the Athletics. They beat them 5-4 as the Athletics lose now their 70th game. They are a whopping 45 games under 500. I'm telling you, man, this is like sad. And they actually have the worst record right now and trying to beat up with the Kansas City Royals. 2 games behind the Royals for the actually they're ahead of them, and the Royals are 2 games behind them. So they're trying to fight for that draft pick. Give or take. You know what I say? Oh boy. Mariners and Tigers. Mariners win 2-0. Mariners are at 500, 46-46. Tigers 41-51, struggling mightily. The Mets, they pull out a win. Holy cow. And 7 games under 500. They actually win against the Dodgers last night to take at least 1 game and not get swept in the series. They win 2-1. I can honestly say I can't believe that. Wow. And the Astros over the Angels, 9-8 on that final game last night. Astros at 52-42. Angels at 46-48. What's going to happen? Who knows? But the Astros keep winning. The Rangers keep winning. So let's look at the standings right now, because that's where it's all going to be right now. Okay, guys. So at 60-36 right now, Tampa Bay's got the 1-game lead over the Baltimore Orioles. Where the Baltimore sits 57-35. 12 games over 500. Pretty good. You have to think to yourself, what can they do to get there? Actually, they're 22 games over 500. I'm sorry, 22 games over 500. Not 12, 22. Rays are 24 games over 500. Baltimore's 22 games over 500. Toronto, and 1 game back. Toronto, 53 and 41, 6 games back. Boston and the Yankees have identical records, but somehow, someway, Boston moves up 1, putting the Yankees in the cellar. Both are 9 games back. And apparently, it looks like because Boston has the best record right now with the 8-2 on the last 10 and a streak of 1, they get the spot. So it's tied for the bottom. But like I said, tough division, real tough. And you'll see that. I hope those guys on the Snowman Show today will be talking about the division standings and the trade deadline and give you more information about that. Okay, AL Central, Minnesota holds a 2.5 game lead over the Cleveland Guardians, 48 and 46, 2 games over 500 at Cleveland's 3 games under 500. Detroit, 10 games under 500 at 6 back. Chicago, 15 games back, 40 and 55, 8.5. And Kansas City, 40 games under 500 at 21 games back. Texas, Rangers, 55 and 39, hold the AL West by 3 games over the Houston Astros. And the Astros have 10 games over 500 at 52 and 42, 3 games back. Seattle, 500, 46 and 46, 8 games back. The LA Angels, 46-48, 2 games under 500, 9 games back. And the lowly Athletics, 25 and 70, 45 games under 500, 30.5 games back. You know, they could still actually pull it through if they get on a streak. But they've lost 7 in a row. So that's going to really hurt them. And they start their next series against the Boston Red Sox. So you could tell those guys in the dugout crew are going to have fun this week. Let's look at the NL East. Right now, the Atlanta Braves sit on top, 61 and 31, 30 games over 500. Now have a 9.5 game lead over the Miami Marlins. And the Marlins sit at 53 and 42. 11 games over 500, but 9.5 back. Philly, 51-42, 9 games under 500, 10.5. The Mets, 43 and 50, 7 games under 500, 18.5 back. And Washington at 37 and 56, 19 games under 500, 24.5 back. Milwaukee now has a 2-game lead over the Cincinnati Reds, 52 and 42, 10 games over 500. Cincinnati, 50-44, 6 games over 500, 2 games back. Chicago, 43 and 49, 8 games back. Pittsburgh, 41-52, 10.5 back. And the Cardinals, 40 and 53, 13 games under 500, 11.5 back. It's the Dodgers right now with the NL West division lead over the San Francisco Giants by 1.5. They sit atop of the division at 53 and 39. San Francisco, 52-41, 1.5 back. The Diamondbacks lost a lot of ground. They were on top of their division, but now they falter back. They're 10 games over 500, yes, but they're 2 back of the division. San Diego, 44 and 50, 10 games back. And the Colorado Rockies, despite winning, 36 and 58, 12 games under 500, 18 games back. All right. When we come back, speaking of which, we're going to look at the news of the weird and get you on what day is today and all that other good stuff. So when we come back, we'll do another segment and get you on your way. Commercial break right now.
World at Silver City Dodge Toyota.
Go ahead, make my coffee.
To satisfy the toughest customers, only the best tasting coffee will do.
Go ahead, make my coffee.
At Dunkin' Donuts, each and every pot is brewed fresh and served fresh at the peak of its flavor. If you're a tough customer, only the taste of this coffee will do. So go ahead, let Dunkin' Donuts make your coffee exquisite.
Indeed.
Hi, Tom Bodette, quote, checking in on my smartphone. Everyone's checking in nowadays, at airports, restaurants, appointments with certain medical specialists. Seriously, people, TMI. Anyway, thanks to the Motel 6 mobile app, you can book a clean, comfortable room at Motel 6 on your smartphone and get a great rate. Then, when you get to Motel 6, you can check in. After you check in, your friends will be totes jealous. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
To help you paint the picture, you know what I'm saying? Burger King got these brand new dinner baskets.
I love this place.
Not hoops, baskets. You know, if you come in between the hours of 4 to 8, you get like these dinner baskets. Get a chicken dinner basket, shrimp dinner basket, Whopper dinner basket, or steak dinner basket. Who ordered the chicken? Who got the Whopper dinner basket? You get a choice of salad or coleslaw, baked potato, or French fries. So you like having it like your way.
Yes, my way.
I love this place.
I love it more than you do.
The fun is back. Oh, yes, sirree. It's the 2600 from Atari. It's the video system with classics galore, from Space Invaders to cars that roar. A real hip joystick controls the screen. Solaris is hot and Midnight Magic's mean. And one more thing, it's got a special low price, under $50. $50? Now, isn't that nice? The fun is back. Oh, yes, sirree. It's the 2600 from Atari.
Tire Kingdom, tires, 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 tires. If tires are what you need, the lowest price is guaranteed. At Tire Kingdom, the best tires at the best price. No hassle service, and we always treat you nice. Ooh, Tire Kingdom, tires, 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 tires.
No little cinnamon gum freshens breath longer than Big Red.
So kiss a little longer, stay close a little longer, hold tight a little longer, longer with Big Red. That Big Red freshness lasts right through it. Your fresh breath goes on and on. While you chew it, say goodbye a little longer, make it last a little longer. Give your breath long-lasting freshness with Big Red.
Yes, get your breath long-lasting freshness with Big Red. Welcome back to DMS 3000 News Live. I am Jason Canio. It is Monday, July 17, 2023. Time is now 8:28, and we hope that you had a fantastic weekend, and we're back here for another edition, episode number 24. Well, as you know, it is always Monday, and that means that it's time for News of the Weird. Yes, and you know how crazy you can get over the weekend, as those guys from Andrews McNeil Syndication always seem to get us going with Friday updates. Well, they take the Friday updates, and we bring them to you on Monday's edition of DMS 3000 News Live. And today's leading story, and this is, of course, for the week of July 14th, 2023. The lead story is The Way the World Works. Yes. In 1973, 50 years ago, Nissim Kahlon was living in a tent on a beach north of Tel Aviv, Israel, the Associated Press reported. He started scratching into a sandstone cliff wall along the beach and eventually excavated a cave and moved in. 50 years later, his created home is a sandcastle with multiple floors, staircases, detailed mosaic floors, and plumbing. But now Israel's Environmental Protection Ministry is moving to evict Kahlon, saying the structure is illegal and threatens the coastline. He said he first got a demolition order in 1974, but since then the government has left him alone, even connecting his home to the electrical grid. I am not leaving here, Kahlon said. He's 77 years of age now. I am ready for them to bury me here. I have no other home. French President Emmanuel Macron now has the singular distinction of being the first French head of state to receive a body part in the mail, the Evening Standard reported. On July 10th, a severed finger belonging to a living human being arrived at the LC Palace, where it was initially put in a fridge where the police put their snacks, a source said. Ooh, this was to make sure it was preserved and could be analyzed as quickly as possible. The former owner of the digit was identified and given full medical support, but it was unclear what the meaning behind the delivery was. Oh, shit. And the Toronto Zoo has a favor to ask of visitors to Nasser the gorilla. Please don't show him photos or videos on your phone. Like any other 24-year-old primate, Nasser is fascinated by videos, and screen time would dominate his life if he had it his way, according to the zoo's website. The Toronto Star reported that Maria Frank, Director of Wildlife Conservation and Welfare, is noticing the effect of visitors sharing their content. It was causing him to be distracted and not interacting with the other gorillas. He was just so enthralled with gadgets and phones in the videos. A sign now warns visitors some content can be upsetting and affect their relationships and behavior within their family. Phones down, humans. Ugh. Wow. All right. An 8-year-old boy faces multiple charges, including first-degree robbery, after he carjacked a vehicle at gunpoint on July 11th in Montgomery, Alabama. WSFA TV reported. Officers tried to stop the car, but the little driver wouldn't stop and later crashed into another car. A witness, Snake Knapp, said he saw the kid pick up 2 adults along the way. I think parents just really need to know where their kids are and what their kids are doing, Knapp mused. Doctors at the Wright-Patterson Medical Center near Dayton, Ohio, presented a case in the New England Journal of Medicine on July 6th that detailed a man whom they diagnosed with a hairy tongue. Gizmodo reported that the 64-year-old consulted with doctors when he developed a green fuzzy layer on his tongue. He was prescribed antifungals, but they didn't help. Hairy tongue occurs when keratin causes a buildup of papillae, the tiny projections on the tongue. The man was directed to scrub his tongue with a toothbrush 4 times a day and stop smoking, and the green fuzz disappeared. There you go. Lakewood, Colorado police are searching for a serial panty thief. The Denver Gazette posted on July 6th. The unknown suspect, described as having short black hair, a black goatee, and dark eyes and a muscular build, allegedly lifts women's underwear from laundry rooms at the Lakewood Towers at Belmar Apartments. Over the course of at least 26 incidents, he has taken approximately, get this, $4,881 worth of items, Lakewood police said. Oh, my God. So all you ladies out there, please keep your panties in check. Thank you. Let's see. People living in the Travis Heights neighborhood of Austin, Texas are thinking twice about venturing outdoors, and it's not because of the heat. A red-shouldered hawk is terrorizing pedestrians to the point that U.S. mail delivery has been suspended in the area indefinitely. KTBC TV reported. Imagine walking out of your house and knowing that you're going to get punched in the back of the head by an animal with large talons, said Alfred Del Barrio. He said he avoided the hawk on a run because he saw its shadow. Nicole Netherton of the Travis Audubon Society said the hawk is protecting its young. Trying to ignore them so that they can get their business and breeding done is probably the best advice, she said. State and federal laws protect migratory birds. Meanwhile, residents are asked to pick up their mail at a local post office until further notice. Wow. A wedding at Mason Albion in Albion, New York, recently reported an unexpected extra member of the wedding party. People reported Jay Alama was hired to be a surprise groomsman by the bride's mother, who knew her daughter wants to own a llama farm one day. Llama Adventures provided Jay and outfitted him in a tux that made him look as if he was wearing white gloves and standing on two legs. And he gamely stood with the other groomsmen as the nuptials took place. The bride was absolutely delighted, said photographer Kathy Kraft, and the guests thoroughly enjoyed it. Oh, boy. Next time anybody has a wedding, we'll just hire a real llama and see if anybody notices, you know? Quincy, Illinois, police are hunting for a rabbit. NBC Chicago reported. Early on July 6th, someone wearing a full bunny suit entered the Winter's Wash laundromat and rifled through drawers, stuffing several items into a backpack. Surveillance video caught the fuzzy culprit, who has not been identified. Quincy police are hopping mad and seeking leads. Oh, boy. And all I got to say about that is, hoppy, hoppy. Yep, there you go. KLKN TV reported that on July 11th, an unnamed 20-year-old man from Lincoln, Nebraska, was pulled over near Norfolk as he drove his motorcycle at speeds up to 106 miles per hour. The driver had a suspended license, and in fact, he had just left the Stanton County Courthouse where he had been sentenced for driving with a suspended license and speeding. The judge had ordered him to pay fines for both offenses. He was charged again and bonded out of jail. Really, you know? And the continuing crisis of the Nico Japanese Steak and Sushi Bar in Pace, Florida has closed after an incident in June, WSB TV reported. The Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office investigated after 7 people were hospitalized following meals at the restaurant, finding that bottles and packets of soy sauce tested positive for methamphetamines. Wow. But no charges were filed as detectives could not determine who contaminated the food due to lack of witness observations and surveillance footage. Then on July 7th, the restaurant's owners announced on Facebook that they would be closing. Today, a family-owned and operated business is closed, and 20 employees are out of work, all because of the power of social media, the Post read. Well, and finally, this seems like a bad idea, but maybe judge for yourself on this one. The crater of the inactive Tioga volcano outside Mexico City is home to a football pitch where 10 teams play each weekend. Yahoo News reported on July 10th. It's a unique pitch, said player Adrian Garcia. A league representative said the field is about 70 years old. Before it was converted to a sports venue, it was a ceremonial site. Goalkeeper Daniel Mancilla Pena called it a very nice setting to play football. Yeah, well, Mexico sits on the Ring of Fire, a seismically and volcanically active zone, so make sure you don't have much stoppage time. Yeah, send your weird news items with subject line Weird News to weirdnewstips@amuniversal.com. And, of course, we thank the guys at uexpress.com, Andrews McNeil Syndication, for News of the Weird. Yes, and, of course, that will happen every Monday here on DMS 3000 News Live all the time, every Monday. All right, folks, it's now 8:39, and we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to look at the grand opening of Disneyland to 30,000 guests many, many years ago, back in 1955. We'll give you that great historic story when we come back right after this.
Please pass the all fruit.
Pass the Polaner all fruit.
Pass the Polaner all fruit.
Would you please pass the jelly?
Polaner all fruit is real fruit, sweetened only with fruit juice. You'll call it delicious, you'll call it remarkable, but please don't dare call it jelly. Polaner all fruit, the spreadable fruit.
Worst part about shaving for me? Razor drag. Edge? No razor drag. Extra moisturizers and lubricants. Razors glide effortlessly across my bare skin. So smooth. Just glide. No hang-ups. It makes shaving feel so good. It makes shaving feel so right. Edge. get some.
Jello pudding pops, Jello pudding pops, frozen pudding on a stick. You know, Jello pudding pops is a winner with all the soapbox racers I know.
It is?
Mm-hmm. And even your mechanic's getting all revved up about it because it's so rich and creamy.
Yeah!
And it always gets the green light from Mom because it's made with real pudding.
Jello brand pudding pops. All the goodness of real Jello pudding. So you know it's wholesome.
A true winner.
And he gets a green light from Mom.
Mom sure know how to make life easier. Mine was always there for me. Like another mom I know. This mom, Phillips Milk of Magnesia. M-O-M. The laxative that helps your body work naturally for easy overnight relief. Would Mom be harsh? No. And Mom's even easier to take with this dosage cup. See? Mom knows just what you need. So when you run into trouble, remember, nobody treats you better than Mom.
I bet you did something today you feel pretty good about. Bet you did. So go get your Mars bar. Come on, you deserve the best. Can't you just taste that rich milk chocolate, creamy caramel, and snuggle deep inside soft nougat? Big, fresh, crunchy nuts after nuts after nuts. This is what you deserve. You deserve every big, crunchy nut in a Mars bar. You did do something good today, didn't you?
Oh, man. Stop texting me, people. Huh? I'm over my limit. I get charged for each text now.
You should switch to Metro PCS. Text all you want for only $3 a month.
Oh, okay, right. And then your bill is hand-delivered by Bigfoot on a singing pony.
Sounds like make-believe, but it's not. Text all you want for $3 a month and no contract. Metro PCS.
Hello.
Unlimit yourself.
Hello. Yes. Welcome back to DMS 3000 News Live, episode 24. I am Jason Icanio, the podcaster and co-owner of David 3000 Network. Yes, as you can see, we have our titles now on the bottom of our names here. There's something new going on with StreamYard, so I'm fantastically impressed about that. But in the meantime, today is, of course, July 17, 2023. Time is 8:43, and we're looking at our first topic of today, where Disneyland opens its doors to 30,000 guests. Yes. As you know, Disneyland is the theme park in Anaheim, California. Opened in 1955, it was the first theme park opened by the Walt Disney Company, and the only one designed and constructed under the direct supervision of Walt himself. He initially envisioned building a tourist attraction adjacent to his studios in Burbank to entertain fans who visited or who wished to visit. However, he soon realized that the proposed site was too small for the ideas that he had. So after hiring the Stanford Research Institute to perform a feasibility study determining an appropriate site for his project, Disney bought a 160-acre site near Anaheim in 1953. The park was designed by a creative team handpicked by Walt from internal and outside talent. They founded WED, or WED Enterprises, the precursor to today's Walt Disney Imagineering. The construction began in 1954, and the park was unveiled during a special televised press event on the ABC television network on July 17, 1955. Since its opening, Disneyland has undergone expansions and major renovations, including the addition of New Orleans Square in 1966, Bear Country in 72, Mickey's Toontown in 93, and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in 2019. Additionally, Disney California Adventure Park opened in 2001 on the site of Disneyland's original parking lot. Disneyland has a larger cumulative attendance than any other theme park in the world, with 757 million visits since it opened as of December 2021. In 2022, the park had approximately 16.9 million visits, making it the second most visited amusement park in the world that year, behind only Magic Kingdom, the very park it inspired. According to a 2005 Disney report, 65,700 jobs are supported by the Disneyland Resort, including about 20,000 direct Disney employees and 3,800 third-party employees, independent contractors, or their employees. They announced Project Stardust in 2019, which included major structural renovations to the park to account for higher attendance numbers. Now, here's the focus of this whole thing, this whole event. The origin. The concept for Disneyland began when Walt was visiting Griffith Park in Los Angeles with his daughters Diane and Sharon. While watching them ride the merry-go-round, he came up with the idea of a place where adults and their children could go and have fun together, though his dream lay dormant for many years. The earliest documented draft of Disney's plans was sent as a memo to studio production designer Dick Kelsey on August 31st, 1948, where it was referred to as a Mickey Mouse Park, based on notes Disney made during his and Ward Kimball's trip to the Chicago Railroad Fair the same month, with a 2-day stop in Henry Ford's Museum and Greenwich Village, or Greenfield Village, Greenwich Village, a place with attractions like a Main Street and steamboat rides, which he had visited 8 years earlier. When people wrote letters to Disney to inquire about visiting the Walt Disney Studios, he realized that a functional movie studio had little to offer to visiting fans, and began to foster various ideas about building a site near the Burbank Studios for tourists to visit. His ideas evolved to a small play park with a boat ride and other themed areas. The initial park concept, the Mickey Mouse Park, was originally planned for an 8-acre plot to the south across Riverside Drive from the studio. Besides Greenfield Village and the Chicago Railroad Fair, Disney was also inspired by Tivoli Gardens in Denmark, Knott's Berry Farm, Colonial Williamsburg, the Century of Progress in Chicago, and the New York's World Fair of 1939. His designers began working on concepts, though the project grew much larger than the land could hold. Disney hired Harrison Price from Stanford Research Institute to identify the proper area in which to position the planned theme park based on expected future growth. Based on Price's analysis, for which he would be recognized as a Disney legend in 2003, Disney acquired 160 acres of orange groves and walnut trees in Anaheim, southeast of Los Angeles, in neighboring Orange County. The small Burbank site, originally considered by Disney, is now home to Walt Disney Animation Studios and ABC Studios. Difficulties in obtaining funding prompted Disney to investigate new methods of fundraising, and he decided to create a show named Disneyland. It was broadcast on then-fledgling ABC. In return, the network agreed to help finance the park. For its first 5 years of operation, Disneyland was owned by Disneyland Inc., which was jointly owned by Walt Disney Productions, Walt Disney Western Publishing, and ABC. Now, in addition, Disney rented out many of the shops on Main Street, USA, to outside companies. By 1960, Walt Disney Productions bought out all other shares, but the partnership had already led to a lasting relationship with ABC, which would eventually culminate in the Walt Disney Company's acquisition of ABC in the mid-1990s. Construction began on July 16, 1954, and cost $17 million to complete. That's the equivalent to about $138 million in 2021. The park was opened 1 year and 1 day later. U.S. Route 101, later Interstate 5, was under construction at the same time just north of the site. In preparation for the traffic Disneyland was expected to bring, 2 more lanes were added to the freeway before the park was finished. Disneyland was dedicated at an International Press Review event held on Sunday, July 17, 1955, which was opened only to invited guests and the media. Although 28,000 people attended the event, only about half of those were invitees, the rest having purchased counterfeit tickets or even sneaked into the park by climbing over the fence. The following day, it opened to the public, featuring 20 attractions. The special Sunday events, including the dedication, were televised nationwide and anchored by three of Walt Disney's friends from Hollywood, Art Linkletter, Bob Cummings, and Ronald Reagan. ABC broadcast the event live, during which many guests tripped over the television camera cables. In Frontierland, a camera caught Cummings kissing a dancer. When Disney started to read the plaque for Tomorrowland, he read partway, then stopped when a technician off camera said something to him, and after realizing he was on air, said, "I thought I got a signal," and began the dedication from the start. At one point, while in Fantasyland, Linkletter tried to give coverage to Cummings, who was on the pirate ship. He was not ready and tried to give the coverage back to Linkletter, who had lost his microphone. Cummings then did a play-by-play of him trying to find it in front of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Traffic was delayed on the two-lane Harbor Boulevard. Famous figures who were scheduled to show up every 2 hours showed up all at once. The temperature was unusually high, 101 degrees, and because of local plumbers' strike, Disney was given a choice of having working drinking fountains or running toilets. He chose the latter, leaving many drinking fountains dry. This generated negative publicity since Pepsi sponsored the park's opening. Disappointed guests believed the inoperable fountains were a cynical way to sell soda while other vendors ran out of food. The asphalt that had been poured that morning was soft enough to let women's high-heeled shoes sink into it. Some parents threw their children over the crowd's shoulders to get them into rides, such as the King Arthur Carousel. In later years, Disney and his 1955 executives referred to July 17, 1955 as Black Sunday. After the extremely negative press from the preview opening, Walt Disney invited attendees back for a private second day to experience Disneyland properly. And at the time and during the lifetimes of Walt and Roy Disney, July 17th was considered merely a preview, with July 18th the official opening day. Since then, aided by memories of the television broadcast, the company has adopted July 17th as the official date, the one commemorated every year as Disneyland's birthday. And there you have it, folks. Disneyland's birthday. Open to technically 28,000, but a few people snuck in there. All right, when we come back, we're going to look at the health benefits of garlic, coming up next in the 9 o'clock hour. We'll be right back.
Please pass the all fruit.
Pass the Polaner all fruit.
Pass the Polana all fruit.
Would you please pass the jelly?
Polaner All Fruit is real fruit, sweetened only with fruit juice. You'll call it delicious, you'll call it remarkable, but please, don't dare call it jelly. Polaner All Fruit, the spreadable fruit.
Worst part about shaving for me? Razor drag. Edge? No razor drag. Extra moisturizers and lubricants. Razors glide effortlessly across my bare skin. So smooth. Just glide. No hang-ups. Makes shaving feel so good. Makes shaving feel so right. Edge. Get some.
Jello pudding pops! Jello pudding pops! Frozen pudding on a stick. You know, Jello pudding pops is a winner with all the soapbox racers I know.
It is?
Mm-hmm. And even your mechanic's getting all revved up about it because it's so rich and creamy.
Yeah!
And it always gets the green light from Mom because it's made with real pudding. Mmm.
Jello brand pudding pops. All the goodness of real Jello pudding. So you know it's wholesome.
A true winner.
And it gets a green light from Mom.
Mmm.
Mom sure know how to make life easier. Mine was always there for me. Like another mom I know. This mom, Phillips Milk of Magnesia. M-O-M. The laxative that helps your body work naturally for easy overnight relief. Would Mom be harsh? No. And Mom's even easier to take with this dosage cup. See? Mom knows just what you need. So when you run into trouble, remember, nobody treats you better than Mom.
I bet you did something today you feel pretty good about. Bet you did. So go get your Mars bar. Come on, you deserve the best. Can't you just taste that rich milk chocolate, creamy caramel, And snuggle deep inside soft nougat. Big, fresh, crunchy nuts after nuts after nuts. This is what you deserve. You deserve every big, crunchy nut in a Mars bar. You did do something good today, didn't you?
Oh, man. Stop texting me, people. Huh? I'm over my limit. I get charged for each text now.
You should switch to Metro PCS. Text all you want for only $3 a month.
Oh, okay, right. And then your bill is hand-delivered by Bigfoot on a singing pony.
Sounds like make-believe, but it's not. Text all you want for $3 a month and no contract. Metro PCS.
Hello.
Unlimit yourself.
Hello, and welcome back to DMS 3000 News Live. Episode 24 is upon us here. It's 8:56 here at the DMS David 3000 Network, and hope you have your coffee, your bagel, muffin, whatever you've got to munch on, and a cup of coffee, because we are ready to go in our next hour here. And today, on this particular part of the hour, or the half hour, we're looking at the health benefits of garlic. Yes, friends. If you are a garlic lover, and if you're not a garlic lover, shame on you, because you should be one, but there are some really great benefits to garlic. And let me tell you something, folks. You know, you got to stop worrying about bad breath, because garlic actually cures the bad breath. And if you take internally a clove of garlic a day, or 2 or 3 or 4 cloves like I do sometimes, and I love the taste of garlic because I'm Italian, but garlic has been around long before the Italians even started munching on it. I think every culture, with the exception of the Eskimos, has some benefit of garlic in their diet and in their cooking. So let's look at the garlic benefits. Let's take some interesting questions for you. Some of them is garlic good for you? Well, yes, garlic offers multiple health benefits. Garlic gets its pungent smell from an organic sulfur compound called allicin, or allicin. Yeah, it's ALLICIN. And this compound also makes garlic a healthy addition to your diet. Should you take the garlic supplements every day? Well, it's best to consult your doctor before starting to take any supplement, especially a daily one. That advice especially applies to garlic supplements. On rare occasions, garlic supplements can cause headaches, fatigue, appetite loss, muscle aches, dizziness, and allergic reactions like asthma attacks or skin rashes. And if you take blood thinners, a garlic supplement can increase the medication's effect, making it even harder for your blood to clot. So do consult your doctor for reasons prior to taking these supplements. Okay, but let's look at the proven health benefits and the uses of garlic. Now, I'm going to also put my ad blocker on, because I have a feeling that somewhere along the line, it's best to put that on. Okay, garlic is a common cooking ingredient, as you know, that possesses some health benefits. And throughout history, people have used garlic to prevent and treat a variety of conditions and diseases. Garlic belongs to the genus Allium and is closely related to the onion, the rakkoi, an onion found in Asia, the scallion, the chive, the leek, and the shallot. And it's used by humans for thousands of years and was used in ancient Egypt for both culinary purposes and its health and therapeutic benefits. This article will look at the potential health benefits of garlic and cover any research that the support claims. So this is from medicalnewstoday.com, and this is reviewed by Natalie Butler and also by Peter Morales. This was updated on June 15th, 2023. So we're giving them sites on this. So here we go. In many countries, garlic has been used medicinally for centuries. Garlic may have a range of health benefits, both raw and cooked, and may have significant antibiotic properties. Well, garlic has been used all over the world for thousands of years. Records indicate that garlic was in use when the Giza pyramids were built about 5,000 years ago. Richard S. Rivlin wrote in the Journal of Nutrition that the ancient Greek physician Hippocrates, known today as the father of Western medicine, prescribed garlic for a wide range of conditions and illnesses. Hippocrates promoted the use of garlic for treating respiratory problems, parasites, poor digestion, and fatigue. The original Olympic athletes in Greece were given garlic, possibly the earliest example of performance-enhancing agents used in sports. From ancient Egypt, garlic spread to the advanced ancient civilizations of the Indus Valley, Pakistan, and Western India today. From there, it made its way to China. According to the experts at Kew Gardens, England's Royal Botanical Center of Excellence, the people of ancient India valued the therapeutic properties of garlic and also thought it to be an aphrodisiac. The upper classes avoided garlic because they despised its strong odor, while monks, widows, adolescents, and those who had taken up a vow or who were fasting could not eat garlic because of its stimulant quality. Now, throughout history in the Middle East, East Asia, and Nepal, garlic has been used to treat bronchitis, hypertension, known as high blood pressure, tuberculosis, liver disorders, dysentery, flatulence, colic, intestinal worms, rheumatism, diabetes, and fevers. The French, Spanish, and Portuguese introduced garlic to the New World. Currently, garlic is widely used for several conditions linked to the blood system and heart, including atherosclerosis, that's hardening of the arteries, high cholesterol, heart attack, coronary heart disease, and hypertension. It's also used today by some people for the prevention of lung cancer, prostate cancer, breast, stomach, rectal, and colon cancers. And it is important to add that only some of these uses are backed by research. A study published in the journal Food and Chemical Toxicology warned that short-term heating reduces the anti-inflammatory effects of fresh raw garlic extracts. This may be a problem for some people who do not like or cannot tolerate the taste and or the odor of fresh garlic. Below are some examples of some scientific studies published in peer-reviewed academic journals about the therapeutic benefits or not of garlic. People who ate raw garlic at least twice a week during the 7-year study period had a 44% lower risk of developing lung cancer, according to a study conducted at the Jiangsu Provincial Center for Disease Control and Prevention in China. The researchers who published their study in the journal Cancer Prevention Research carried out face-to-face interviews with 1,424 lung cancer patients and 4,543 healthy individuals. They were asked about their diet and lifestyle, including questions on smoking and how often they ate garlic. The study authors wrote, "Protective association between intake of raw garlic and lung cancer has been observed with a dose-response pattern, suggesting that garlic may potentially serve as a chemopreventive agent for lung cancer. Organosulfur compounds found in garlic have been identified as effective in destroying the cells in glioblastomas, which was a type of deadly brain tumor. Scientists at the Medical University of South Carolina reported in the journal Cancer that 3 pure organosulfur compounds from garlic, DAS, DADS, and DATS, demonstrated efficacy in eradicating brain cells, but DATS proved to be the most effective. Co-author Ray Swapan, he's a PhD, he said, "This research highlights the great promise of plant-originated compounds as natural medicine for controlling the malignant growth of human brain tumor cells. More studies are needed in animal models of brain tumors before application of this therapeutic strategy to brain tumor patients." Women whose diets were rich in allium vegetables had lower levels of osteoarthritis. A team at King's College London at the University of East Anglia, both in England, reported in the journal BMC Musculoskeletal Disorders. The examples of those allium vegetables include garlic, leeks, shallots, onions, and radicchio. Yep. The study authors said their findings not only highlighted the possible impact of diet on osteoarthritis outcomes, but also demonstrated the potential for using compounds that exist in garlic to develop treatments for the condition. The long-term study involving more than 1,000 healthy female twins found that those whose dietary habits included plenty of fruit and vegetables, particularly alliums such as garlic, had fewer signs of early osteoarthritis in the hip joint. Now, diallyl sulfide, which is a compound in garlic, was 100 times more effective than two popular antibiotics in fighting the Campylobacterium. Wow. According to a study published in the Journal of Antimicrobial Chemotherapy. The Campylobacter bacterium is one of the most common causes of intestinal infections. Senior author Dr. Jian Liu from Washington State University said, "This work is very exciting to me because it shows that this compound has the potential to reduce disease-causing bacteria in the environment and in our food supply." Now, diallyl trisulfide component of garlic oil helps protect the heart during cardiac surgery and after a heart attack, researchers at Emory University School of Medicine found. They also believe diallyl trisulfide could be used as a treatment for heart failure. Hydrogen sulfide gas has been shown to protect the heart from damage. However, it is a volatile compound and difficult to deliver as therapy. Because of this, the scientists decided to focus on diallyl trisulfide, a garlic oil component, as a safer way to deliver the benefits of hydrogen sulfide to the heart. In experiments using laboratory mice, the team found that after a heart attack, the mice that had received the sulfide had 61% less heart damage in the area at risk compared with the untreated mice. In another study published in the Journal of Agriculture and Food Chemistry, scientists found that garlic oil may help protect diabetes patients from cardiomyopathy. Cardiomyopathy is the leading cause of death among diabetes patients. It is a chronic disease of the myocardium, the heart muscle, which is abnormally thickened, enlarged, and or stiffened. The team fed diabetic laboratory rats either garlic oil or corn oil. Those fed garlic oil experienced significantly more changes associated with protection against heart damage compared with the animals that were fed corn oil. The study authors wrote, "In conclusion, garlic oil possesses significant potential for protecting hearts from diabetes-induced cardiomyopathy. Human studies will need to be performed to confirm the results of this study." Researchers at Ankara University investigated the effects of garlic extract supplementation on the blood lipid fat profile of patients with high blood cholesterol. Their study was published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry. The study involved 23 volunteers, all with high cholesterol. 13 of them also had high blood pressure. They were divided into two groups: high cholesterol normotensive group and the high cholesterol hypertensive group. They took garlic extract supplements for 4 months and were regularly checked for blood lipid parameters as well as kidney and liver function. At the end of the 4 months, the researchers concluded garlic extract supplementation improves blood lipid profile, strengthens blood antioxidant potential, and causes significant reductions in systolic and diastolic blood pressures. It also leads to a decrease in the level of oxidation product in the blood samples, which demonstrates reduced oxidation reactions in the body. In other words, the garlic extract supplements reduced high cholesterol levels and also blood pressure in the patients with hypertension. The scientists added that there was a small study, but more work needs to be carried out. And we could say more about the health benefits of garlic with all the good things in the world about it. Cures cancer, all types of cancer, as far as we're concerned. Prostate cancer, alcohol-induced liver injuries, preterm deliveries. The studies go on and on. Garlic was also an interesting test for the common cold. What's your intake of garlic? Do you take it for the health benefits, or do you take it just because you love the taste of it and like to add it to your foods? Whichever way, you are doing your body a great deal of health and wellness, and you should be proud of yourself because you are taking one more step to a great, healthy life. And there you have it, friends, the health benefits of garlic. We'll be looking at a lot of other health benefits of other great vegetables and other supplementations during the week, and hopefully you'll be able to find your specific type of superfood, as they say. Next up on the program, we'll be looking at the 50th anniversary of Y&R, and then, of course, the last 15 minutes of our program, we'll look at This Is an Editorial. We'll also look at what day is today, give you a couple of those there. But before that, we're going to definitely take a break and come back with more of DMS 3000 News Live right after this.
At the river mouth, the bears catch only the tastiest, most tender salmon, which is exactly what we at John West want. John West endured the worst to bring you the best.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body wash and switched to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat with the man your man could smell like. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamonds. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
Ship my pants? Right here? Ship my pants, you're kidding. You can ship your pants right here. You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow, I just may ship my pants.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
I just shipped my drawers.
I just shipped my nightie.
I just shipped my bed. If you can't find what you're looking for in store, we'll find it at Kmart.com right now and ship it to you for free.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the Information Purification Directives. We have created, for the first time in all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests, obeying contradictory thoughts. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Mr. Cow.
Yes?
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I don't know. I always end up biting. Ask Mr. Fox, for he's much cleverer than I.
Mr. Fox, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Why don't you ask Mr. Turtle, for he's been around a lot longer than I. Me, I bite.
Mr. Turtle, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I never made it without biting. Ask Mr. Owl, for he is the wisest of us all.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
A good question. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3.
If there's anything I can't stand, it's a smart owl.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
Please, take him out.
Mr. Green? Mr. Green?
Yeah.
You need any help?
Mm-mm.
I just want you to know, I think you're the best ever.
Yeah, sure.
Want my Coke? It's okay, you can have it.
No.
Really, you can have it.
Okay.
A Coke and a smile. the way it should be. I'd like to see
Hey, kid.
the whole world smiling with me. Coca-Cola as life. Have a Coke and
Thanks, Mean Joe.
smile.
So you think Santa will like these red and green M&Ms?
I don't know. I never met the guy. He does exist.
They do exist. Santa?
Oh, Santa? Yes. Welcome back to the David 3000 Network. It's DMS 3000 News Live, episode 24. And I am Jason DeCanio, the podcaster and co-owner of the David 3000 Network. It is July 17th, 2023, 9:16 a.m. on this Monday morning. Hope you are enjoying this show as much as I am to delivering it to you. All right, let's go right now to our next topic on the platform today. We have the 50th anniversary of Young and the Restless. Yes, folks, it's 50 years of Genoa City. CBS has carried on the tradition, and they have made it to the 50th season. Yes. So, to compete with the youthful ABC soap operas All My Children, One Life to Live, and General Hospital, CBS executives wanted a new daytime serial that was youth-oriented. William J. Bell and Lee Phillip Bell created The Young and the Restless in 1972 for the network under the working title The Innocent Years. We were confronted with the very disturbing reality that young America had lost much of its innocence, Bell said. Innocence as we had known and lived it all of our lives had, in so many respects, ceased to exist. They changed the title of the series to The Young and the Restless because they felt it reflected the youth and mood of the early 70s. The Bells named the fictional setting for the show after the real Genoa City, Wisconsin, a community on U.S. Route 12 in Wisconsin along the Illinois-Wisconsin state line, located between their then home in Chicago and their annual summer vacation spot in Lake Geneva. The Young and the Restless began airing on March 26, 1973, replacing the canceled soap opera Where the Heart Is. Bell worked as head writer from the debut of the series until his retirement in 1998. He wrote from his home in Chicago while production took place in Los Angeles, California. Originally, Bell wanted to shoot the series in New York City. However, CBS executives felt that Los Angeles would be more cost-effective. John Conboy acted as the show's first executive producer, staying in that position until 1982. Bell and H. Wesley Kenny became co-executive producers that year until Edward Scott took over in 1989. Bell then became senior executive producer, and other executive producers including David Shaughnessy, John F. Smith, Lynn Marie Latham, Josh Griffith, Maria Arena Bell, and Paul Roach. In the mid-1980s, Bell and his family moved to Los Angeles to create a new soap opera. During this time, his three children, William Jr., Bradley Bell, and Laura Lee Bell, each became involved in soap operas. Laura Lee Bell worked as an actress on The Young and the Restless. Bradley Bell co-created The Bold and the Beautiful with his father, and William Bell Jr. became involved in the family's production companies as president of Bell Dramatic Serial Company and Bell Phillip Television Productions, Inc. It worked out very well for us because we really all worked in very different aspects of the show, William Bell Jr. said. With my father and I, it was a great kind of partnership and pairing in the sense that he had a total control of the creative side of the show, and I didn't even have the inclination to interject in what he was doing. After William J. Bell's retirement in 1998, a number of different head writers took over the position, including Kay Alden, Trent Jones, John F. Smith, Lynn Marie Latham, Scott Hammer, Josh Griffith, Maria Arena Bell, and Hogan Sheffer. In 2012, former General Hospital executive producer Jill Farron Phelps was hired as the new executive producer of the soap, replacing Bell. Griffith was also named the sole head writer. August 15, 2013, it was speculated and reported by several online sources that Griffith had resigned as head writer of the serial. Further speculation adds that Shelley Altman may take over as the new scribe alongside Tracy Thompson or Gene Passanante. They may be brought in abroad as co-head scribe. Then on September 12th of 2013, it was announced that Passanante and Altman were named head writers of the show, with Thompson promoted to co-head writer. September 18th, 2014, former All My Children, Santa Barbara, and General Hospital head writer Charles Pratt Jr. was named as the new head writer of the show. Passanante, Altman, and Thompson have been demoted to breakdown writers. Pratt was also named as co-executive producer, sharing the credit with Phelps. And June 7th of 2016, Serial Scoop announced that Phelps had been terminated from her position as executive producer. A replacement was not named at the time of their reporting. And it goes on to talk about all of who was demoted, who was not, and so on and so forth. Well, as you know, videotaping and broadcasting, the show was taped at CBS Television City Studios 41 and 43 in Hollywood since its debut on March 26, 1973, and the show was packaged by the distribution company Columbia Pictures Television, which has now been replaced by Sony Pictures Television. The Young and the Restless originally aired as a half-hour series on CBS and was the first soap opera to focus on the visual aspects of production, creating a look that broke with the visual conventions of the genre. Similar to the radio serials that had preceded them, soap operas at the time primarily focused on dialogue, characters, and story, with details like sets as secondary concerns. The Young and the Restless stood out by using unique lighting techniques and camera angles similar to Hollywood-style productions. The style of videotaping included using out-of-the-ordinary camera angles and a large number of facial close-ups with bright lighting on the actors' faces. Conboy said he used lighting to create artistic effects. Those effects made the series look dark, shadowy, and moody, and The Young and the Restless look influenced the taping styles of other soap operas. And when H. Wesley Kinney replaced Conboy as executive producer, he balanced the lighting of the scenes. Due to the success of the series, CBS and its affiliates pressured Bell to lengthen the series from 30 minutes to a full hour. Bell attributed the show's fall from number 1 in the Nielsen ratings to this change, since the lengthening of the show led to the departure of a number of cast members. The issue of performing in a 1-hour show had not been part of their contracts, Bell said, and this forced the show to recast multiple main characters and eventually phase out the original core families in favor of new ones. The show expanded to 1 hour on February 4th, 1980, replacing the long-running serial Love of Life. June 8th, 1981, it moved to 12:30 p.m. Eastern, the slot occupied by Search for Tomorrow since its premiere in 1951, which ultimately led to the latter show moving to NBC after a disastrous experiment in another time slot, alienating that program's loyal viewers. It airs 11 a.m. on most stations in the Central, Mountain, and Pacific time zones, usually as a lead-in to the local news for most CBS stations outside the Eastern time zone, though some stations in the Central zone opt to air it at 11:30 a.m. Exteriors used in the late 80s and early 90s and reused years later included locations in and around Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, including Allegheny General Hospital, One Oxford Center, the Duquesne Club, Hampton Township, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, and the State Correctional Institution of Pittsburgh. Philip Chancellor died in the Richland, Pennsylvania area, where the police chief was not told and believed the accident really happened. On June 27, 2001, The Young and the Restless became the first daytime soap opera to be broadcast in high definition. September 2011, its sister soap, The Bold and the Beautiful, became the last soap to make the transition from standard definition television to high def before One Life to Live ended its ABC run on January 3rd, 2012, and began its TOLN run online on April 29th, 2013. On April 24, 2006, SoapNet began airing same-day episodes of the series. The final airing on SoapNet was on June 28th of 2013, and the soap has moved from SoapNet to TV Guide Network. The same-day episodes began airing on TVGN, now Pop, weeknights on July 1st of 2013. Well, if anybody out there knows about the characters, basically, you have to think about this. Some of these characters have been on for as long as almost the entire run of the show. And you can tell who's been there the longest and who has just come onto the scene. In summary, I must say that Y&R has stood the test of time in its 12:30 slot. One of the best moves it probably made was going to an hour show at the time. For half-hour soap operas, only gave you maybe 3 acts like The Bold and the Beautiful does. The Bold and the Beautiful has been a half-hour soap for as long as it's been on, and Y&R is the good show that brings you to Bold and the Beautiful right after the new news. So you get your daily game shows of Let's Make a Deal at 10 o'clock and The Price is Right at 11, and then you go into the news, then Y&R for an hour. And those who've been following the show know the show very well. I don't have to explain about characters or scenarios or any of that stuff. You all know it. The bottom line is that we celebrate 50 years today, or this year actually, this season, of great Y&R soap, dialogue, and drama. And we hope that they'll be ready for another 50 years come around for another look at the 50th anniversary of The Young and the Restless. 9:27 right now is your JDC studio time, your David 3000 network time, your DMS 3000 News Live time. We are getting close to the end of our program here, but we're going to be looking at now what day is today. So we're going to type that in right now. The national holidays of 2023. And let's see what we have here. National Today. I'll put up my ad blocker. Okay. So, well, it doesn't tell me much there. Okay. So I'll go back and let's see if we can find the one. Let's see. Oh, I know. What holiday is today? That's right. Okay, here we go. Today we've got a couple of them we'll go over. Let's see if there's any delicious ones here. Here we go. Well, who likes peach ice cream? I don't know. Unless you're only from Georgia, maybe the only way to get there. Well, today we celebrate National Peach Ice Cream Day with a great fervor. All you have to do is prepare yourself to devour some of the best peach ice cream brands in town. The day is celebrated every year to honor and cherish the creation of the delicious peach-flavored ice cream that stole the hearts of many. It's sweet, it's tangy, it's cold, and is everything you need in this hot weather. You know, ice cream has become a dessert that has its own fan base. From times of happiness to times of sadness, ice cream of different flavors plays a great role in uplifting the mood. And while new ice cream brands and flavors are launched every now and then, the ice cream itself has existed for centuries. The creation of a dish similar to the ice cream we have today can be traced back to the 4th century BC, when the Roman Emperor Nero ordered ice cream from the mountains and combined it with fruit toppings. Since there were no freezers during that time, there were no other way of possessing ice. And during 618 to 97 AD, King Tang from China developed a method of creating ice and milk concoctions. In 1768, M. Emmy from France published a book with recipes for frozen desserts. The first advertisement for ice cream, however, did not appear till 1774. It is after this period that ice creams began to gain popularity. And like other ice cream flavors, the creation of peach ice cream also has an intriguing story behind it. It all started with Auguste Escoffier, a French chef, created a new dessert for a dinner party. The sweet dish was a fascinating ice sculpture of a swan that was resting on vanilla ice cream and was topped with peaches and sugar. In 1900, the chef created a new version of the dessert containing peaches with raspberry puree. It is this fusion of flavors and ingredients that later led to the creation of peach ice cream. So, the first ice cream parlor opens in New York in 1776. 1851, Jacob Fussell sets up the first commercial ice cream plant. 1926, Clarence Volt develops the first commercial ice cream freezer, and American ice cream company Häagen-Dazs is established in 1960. So how to celebrate this day? Well, head out to an ice cream stall. Yes, to celebrate it, visit different ice cream stalls and parlors in your town and taste the peach ice creams they have to offer. You can even go ice cream hunting with friends and family. You know, ice cream isn't hard to make as long as you get the ingredients right and have a good recipe to work with. So make your own. You can also use this day to make it your own peach ice cream. And make an inspirational video. You know, make ice cream at home and shoot your entire experience to produce a do-it-at-home video. Who knows, you might become the next famous food vlogger. Here are 5 fun facts you need to know about peaches. A large peach has 70 calories. China is the leading peach producer and it accounts for half of the world's peach production. The heaviest peach weighs 810 grams. And the U.S. grows 1.9 billion pounds of these peaches. And California produces the most peaches at 50%. Pretty interesting. Why National Peach Ice Cream Day is important? Well, it promotes peach-flavored ice cream. And though peach-flavored ice cream is delicious, it is not as famous as flavors such as vanilla, chocolate, or strawberry. Hence, the day serves as the perfect time to promote the peach flavor. And the day can be used to head out with friends or family and have as much peach ice cream as you want. If celebrated with the right people, you can have the time of your lives on National Peach Ice Cream Day. And many small businesses and startups have popped up all over because it helps the business. And this includes online food businesses as well as those who are operating stalls. Since this day promotes peach ice cream, it can really help entrepreneurs selling ice cream to get more and new customers. And there you have it, friends. National Peach Ice Cream Day. What day today is. Let's look and see what else we have here. Oh, it's the Hoff's birthday today, huh? Okay. Well, one more. Let's see. Okay. For all you lottery people out there, today is National Lottery Day, and here's a Midsummer's Night Dream. You, who have never won a single thing in your entire life, decide to take a wild leap and play the lottery. Why? There's something about free money that seems rather appealing. Now then, you scratch the card, cross your fingers, avoid the 13th floor, and generally hope for the best. Then, right on July 17th, National Lottery Day, it happens. You win the big dollars and spend the rest of the month searching for the perfect beach house in Kauai. Well, maybe, but one thing's for sure, you have to play to win. National Lottery Day is a chance for everyone to try their luck and get involved. So luck be your lady tonight or today, as the case is, on National Lottery Day. And the concept of the lottery has been around since ancient times. The practice became mainstream in the late 15th century in Europe, drawing lots to nominate a winner, swept across Europe to the United States in 1612, when a lottery was established by King James I to fund the first permanent British settlement in Virginia, North America. From then on, lotteries were used by private and public bodies to raise money for wars, towns, colleges, and community projects. In early American history of the lottery, George Washington hosted one in the 1760s to finance the building of the Mountain Road in Virginia. John Hancock ran a lottery to rebuild Faneuil Hall in Boston in 1765, and the cannons used during the American Revolution from 1775 to 1783 were paid for by the support of lotteries. Lotteries just seem too good to be true. As concerns rose regarding their harmful impact on the public. A constitutional prohibition was issued against lotteries, with New York being the first state where it was implemented. After the Civil War ended, Reconstruction in the southern states was dependent on lotteries. The Louisiana lottery especially became popular. It was abolished in 1894 after Congress banned the transport of lottery materials across state lines. Soon after, the public discovered that the lottery was being run by a crime syndicate that committed fraud and bribed legislatures. It was a massive scandal that was widely publicized. Lotteries gained a bad reputation and were completely outlawed by the end of the 19th century. The negativity surrounding gambling started softening at the turn of the 20th century, and gambling was legalized in casinos in the state of Nevada in the 1930s, and gambling for charity also became common. So, 1720, the colonists tried their luck. They had nearly 400 lotteries in the mid-18th century. A Philadelphia newspaper ad promises a new brick house for one lucky lottery winner, and tickets sell for 20 shillings each. And although Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands held lotteries back in the 30s, New Hampshire becomes the first U.S. state to do so in 1964. Schools there see immediate benefits from sales of sweepstakes tickets. 1985, Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont are the first states to combine resources in order to crack or create bigger jackpots. Their flagship game, Tri-State Megabucks, continues today. The biggest jackpot ever, 2016, nearly 7 years ago, the Powerball jackpot on January 13th is an incredible $1.586 billion. 3 lucky winners each take home just over $500 million each. So buy a lottery ticket. Try your luck. Maybe National Lottery Day will increase your odds of winning. Those who have never bought a lottery ticket usually purchase their first one today just for fun. Special promotions by local and state lotteries are offered, so watch out for them. And interviews with former lottery winners are published on social media, and a general buzz surrounds lotteries on this day. Here are the numbers. $70.1 billion is the amount Americans spend on lotto tickets back in 2014. 1994 was the year the first lottery was launched. 85% of winners who chose to remain anonymous. 350 billion to 1 is the odds of winning the lottery. 38 is the most drawn lotto ball. And 18 is the number of movies funded by the lottery, including The King's Speech. 99% of surveyed winners who still play national lottery games after winning. So even though they've won big money, they still play 99% of the time. 70% of winners who are convinced that they will win again, although that's a long shot by somebody else's odds. 4.5 is the average number of cars winners purchase after becoming millionaires. And 52% are the percentage of winners who quit their jobs after winning $1 million or more. So, go play, pull your money, and buy a ticket for a loved one. But remember, dream on. The 5 biggest U.S. lottery jackpots ever. $1.5 billion in 2016. $1.54 billion in 2018. $768 million in 2019. And $759 million in 2017. And finally, $688 million in 2018. And why we love this day? It's the ultimate fantasy, a chance to change the world. You've got your priorities. Just remember, if you have an addiction to gambling, get some help, friends. That's all I got to say about it. Play responsibly. Have fun. And if you win, great. If not, just keep on trying. Be patient. And one day you will hit the big jackpot. And that is a look at what day is today for DMS 3000 News Live, episode 24. All right, when we come back, we'll wrap up this program here with a look at, this is an editorial. Yes, we're going to be looking at an editorial. I'll pick something random, talk about it, rag on for about 15 minutes. If you like what I've got to say, and I know that it's all based on opinion, great. If you don't, just please keep your comments to yourself and realize this is my opinion, my outlook on it. You may have a difference of opinion on it, but put the disclaimer in there. We come back, we'll do that right after this.
World at Silver City Dodge Toyota.
Go ahead, make my coffee. To satisfy the toughest customers, only the best tasting coffee will do. Go ahead, make my coffee. At Dunkin' Donuts, each and every pot is brewed fresh and served fresh at the peak of its flavor. If you're a tough customer, only the taste of this coffee will do. So go ahead and let Dunkin' Donuts make your coffee exquisite. Indeed.
Hi, Tom Bodette, quote, checking in on my smartphone. Everyone's checking in nowadays, at airports, restaurants, appointments with certain medical specialists. Seriously, people, TMI. Anyway, thanks to the Motel 6 mobile app, you can book a clean, comfortable room at Motel 6 on your smartphone and get a great rate. Then, when you get to Motel 6, you can check in. After you check in, your friends will be totes jealous. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
To help you paint the picture, you know what I'm saying? Burger King got these brand new dinner baskets.
I love this place.
Not hoops, baskets.
You know, if you come in between the hours of 4 to 8, you get like these dinner baskets. Get a chicken dinner basket, shrimp dinner basket, Whopper dinner basket, or steak dinner basket. Who ordered the chicken? Who got the Whopper dinner basket? You get a choice of salad or coleslaw, baked potato or French fries. So you like having it like your way.
Yes, my way.
I love this place. I love it more than you do.
The fun is back. Oh, yes, siree. It's the 2600 from Atari. It's the video system with classics galore, from Space Invaders to cars that roar. A real hit joystick controls the screen. Solaris is hot and Midnight Magic's mean. And one more thing, it's got a special low price, under $50. $50? Now, isn't that nice? The fun is back. Oh, yes, siree. It's the 2600 from Atari.
Tire Kingdom tires, 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 tires. If tires are what you need, the lowest price is guaranteed. At Tire Kingdom, the best tires at the best price. No hassle service, and we always treat you nice. Ooh, Tire Kingdom tires, 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 tires.
No little cinnamon gum freshens breath longer than Big Red.
So kiss a little longer, stay close a little longer, hold tight a little longer, longer with Big Red. That Big Red freshness lasts right through it. Your fresh breath goes on and on. While you chew it, say goodbye a little longer, make it last a little longer. Give your breath long-lasting freshness with Big Red.
The future of our country is at danger every day as we get closer and closer to the next general election happening in 2024. Right now, gas prices are high, food prices are high, taxes are going up, inflation, everything in the book. Education is getting worse and worse, jobs are getting cut, and even though we have jobs being growth and growing and growing, the amount of pay that a person gets basically is very little compared to those coming into the group right now being hired at $15 to $20 an hour. What are we to do about this? Well, the Democrats want to continue to have you by the throat. In other words, you have no control over what's going on. You are just there to pretend like everything is fine. And if that's what you want, then you can continue to vote for a Democratic person to lead this country. Or you can do the opposite and vote Republican and find out that the Republicans are not bad people after all. But of course, a lot of people would say, no, this is not right, and our country is going in the wrong direction. Well, for one thing, if you agree with what I say as far as the country is going in the wrong direction, then you have some logical thought to the process. In other words, you agree with what I've said so far, that the country has a major problem. However, if you are the type of person who likes to see things and just pretends that nothing traumatic is happening and it's not happening to you directly, then you have some issues that need to be addressed. So, what are we to do? Well, folks, let's put it this way. No matter who is in the government at any given time, we are to live our lives as good citizens of this country and represent what an American is really supposed to be. An American is someone who has freedom, okay? The freedom to choose to do whatever they want to do. But we also have laws, and those laws need to be followed, okay? Now, if you want to spend the rest of your life in jail because you feel that you deserve to be out there with what kind of ideas and situations you have, the only way to get that kind of freedom is to prove that you are not a threat to society. But too many people out there are threatening the very lives of the good people. And the bad people are rising up and starting to take over this country. Now, what are we to do about it? Well, a normal person would be very upset at this moment and ask the very same questions of, what can you do? Well, I say, look at it this way. If you don't like what's being done in your country, or your state for that matter, then you need to go and vote. But then you say, well, my vote never counts, and I don't know why I'm even voting in the first place. And then we don't vote at all. And then those who do vote actually have the majority. So what can you do? Well, instead of voting on the federal people, namely those who are running for president of the United States, go for the local positions in your state. That's governor, mayor, on the districts, the courts, anything that has to do with the local part of it. Because at that moment, you have a say in your county, in your area, and your district. You can make this country better, folks. And there is a way to do that. Go out there and vote regardless. And if you don't like who's on the ticket, well, pencil in somebody who you think might be beneficial to the problem and find out and do the research. Most of the candidates that we see today, we don't really know a whole lot about. We don't know what they did in the past. They kept very quiet, and they don't go out there and campaign because of money or lack of funds. What they need to do is if they can't raise the funds for campaigning, then they need to at least go on a video or social media in some way, shape, or form and rally their people and their supporters to the max. This general election that we're facing next year is going to be one of the biggest elections we've ever had to deal with, folks. The state of our country is in jeopardy if we don't fix it next year. We will have the same problems that have been haunting us for the last 3 years. The question is, do you want this? The answer is no. Or the answer is yes. But you have to decide for yourself what you think is best for you and your family. If you want good education, high-paying jobs, lower gas prices, lower food prices, everything to come down and go back to normalcy, you would vote Republican. Or you would vote anything out right now, the people who are in the White House and the resigning administration. If you want the same thing in the next 4 years, vote the old guy in and see how bad it's really going to get in the next 4 years, folks. Because right now, we're living in hell. And we do not deserve this. And surely you do not deserve this. But if you voted for Joe Biden 3 years ago, and you vote for him again, get ready for the same amount of control that you have to deal with from a guy who's aging and ailing and cannot run this country well enough, even into his late mid-80s. It doesn't matter about age. It's about wisdom. And I don't think that the President of the United States right now has any wisdom to give to anybody right now, nor to tell anybody how to live considering the fact that he himself does not represent the American people. What's your opinion? We would like to know. Have a great day, everybody. We will see you tomorrow with more great topics. Keep an eye out for what's coming up tomorrow. I'll give you a mid-afternoon preview of what's going on. I'll launch that in a little while. Don't forget, tonight we're recording for Super Password, Blockbusters, and Joker's Wild as the summer schedule continues on. Coming up next on the program, Brian Snow and Cole Johnson take the 2 hours, 10 to 12, and they'll be talking a lot about some great topics. Not sure what they're talking about today, but it probably has something to do with sports. And we're getting ready for basketball season pretty soon as well. Football season is coming up in just a few weeks as the preseason starts in, 3 weeks. We'll have that first preseason game. College football is going to be doing a whole bunch as well. So from all of us here at DMS 3000 News Live, I'm Jason Icanio. We will see you tomorrow. And again, have a great day. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Democracy Network for great more content like this one.